Okay, but yeah, so that's one of the main reasons that I did the free course. Some charts may not directly reflect the chart on your M24. So that being
Right.
said, if we just use the charts that we have on TradingView on the higher time frames to find that true direction, once you go to your MT4, you'll be able to pretty much find out what the difference is. And in most cases, just the coordinates. So the overall direction may be the same. You just may have to adjust the coordinates on your entries and your target areas. Can
Right.
you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So this is actually a trade we were looking at last week. We got trapped in this consolidation of this range. So as the week progresses, we'll see how this thing plays out. But for right now, just because you guys said Bitcoin, let's just see what's going on. All right. Where do you start when you chart, Jeff? What time frame?
4 hour.
Why?
Um. hmm. I try to look for like I try to start my lines there, and then I go to the 1 hour and draw. Like I keep drawing my lines down until I get to where I can the smaller time frames. What was that?
Um, let's alter the approach a little bit. Let's start with higher time frames. This will keep you with having this will keep you from getting caught into the smaller time frames and getting chopped out. We want to scale out to the higher time frames and see the true direction of the market, and scale down only to pretty much refine your entry. So I start with the higher time.
Also start at the week. Okay.
Yeah, actually start with the monthly and just scroll down from there, because certain things you won't see as far as macro levels. You won't be able to see those as good on a 4 hour. On a 4 hour, it may look
That's
like, okay, this is a valid support level, or this is a valid resistance level. But if you back out to a higher time frame, that level may have been retested multiple times. And based on our strategy for those areas that have multiple retests, we look for those areas to be broken. So with only looking at price on a smaller time frame, those are things that you will miss when it comes to your technicals. So always take your time to go out to a higher time frame first. So with that being said, on the smaller time frames, pretty much look like, we were developing a valid support level, and that Bitcoin probably could have went up a little further. But once we come out to this weekly, this level right here was already played, this level here. So
yes.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these zones because they've already been played. Now, since that's the case, everything underneath this area is now became liquidity. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime we have a zone, anytime we have a zone and price plays it multiple times, you then want to remove this zone. And we're gonna use our arrows to draw underneath that zone to give us a visual representation that we have liquidity, which is pretty much stop losses underneath this area. So if price comes back to it, we're not necessarily looking for a rejection away from the zone. We're looking maybe for a pullback than a break through the zone. So those are things to keep in mind when charting. Develop the understanding of when your zone has been played and when we need to delete it. All right. So that zone was played. That's why we removed it. Now we are trying to see if, since this is a weekly, if Bitcoin will stay above this range. So Bitcoin can somehow pull back to stay above this range, then we will be expecting more bullish movement. But if price rejects at the end of this week and closes within this range, then we could see this area of this range retested, if not broken. Can you see what this is right here? You guys see this?
Double bottom.
Yes, sir. So we have a double bottom here. From our course, we learned that typically once you see double bottoms or any reversal pattern being printed in the market, price will pull back towards that area typically before continuing to move. So, hold on a second. So this is what we should be looking for. Either a retest and a rejection here at this level, or a continuation of price from here. So either we pull back up to create more of a bull flag, or we continue to fall, closing inside this range during the week, retesting this area before creating that move. Now, that's it's all based off of probability. So those are just two examples. Now, let's say, for instance, price really wants to respect this 50 EMA, right? We get a rejection right here at this EMA, and instead price comes down and we get that bearish momentum that we just spoke about as being a possibility. Okay, the next level that we will be looking at as far as a major level in Bitcoin is this area down here. All right. If we don't get a rejection here, we'll look to the support level below it. And that's pretty much all we do. We find out where price is, no matter where it is. We use, okay. We use our arrows to trap price by identifying liquidity, or you can use your these yellow rectangles, which we use to represent range, to trap price. Then we want to identify the levels either below or above it that price could trade to before making those moves. So pretty much, once we put everything together with our strategy, that's all we do. So in that, since we identified that, we'll go down to the smaller time frames to see how likely it is for either move to play out. So when you're charting, don't look at a chart. Hold on. This is the eye contact time. When you're charting, do not look at a chart and say, I know exactly that it's going up, or I know exactly that it's going down. The way to put yourself in a position to be profitable is to remain objective, okay? So even if your overall bias is a sell, you should develop a plan or a process if that trade goes against your original plan. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's just figure out a plan for both moves. All right, so we're going down to the daily. Now on this daily time frame, from our, I think it's our week 2 video, structure. Right now, these highs, right, would have been creating structure. At this point, price came up, touched this 200 EMA, mine is purple, my 50 EMA is blue, my 20 EMA is orange. You guys should have adjusted those from the course so you'll know exactly what it is you're looking at. From here, just taking a look at the chart, what do you see on the daily?
I see a double top.
Yes, sir. We got a macro double top, okay? This big move is a macro double top. And then the right portion of the double top actually created a double top as well. Do you see that, Jeff?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I see it now.
All right, so check this.
Takes me a little bit.
It's okay. Now, at this area where we have structure, and it's identified as structure because of the multiple rejections that we have in this area, okay? At that area, if we take a look at what just happened in price here, let's see how well you guys remember, all right? So what is this? This is from week 6.
It's buy to sell.
Yes, sir. That's a sell to buy zone. Okay. From week 6, we learned that once we see sell to buy zones, especially at an area where you have a structural break like this area, then it's a strong indication of a move to the downside.
Now, isn't there an imbalance zone above that too?
Yes, there is. We'll highlight that in a second. So we also said in the course, typically where we find the buy to sell or sell to buy zones, again, they happen right where structure breaks. So we have structure here, this area here is the structural break. Now, I want you guys to also look at something beautiful that just happened. Do you see this particular candle here?
Mhm.
Do you see how it pulled inside of that structural break zone? I'm sorry, that it pulled inside of that buy to sell zone and then continued to move to the downside perfectly?
Mhm.
All right. So we actually missed a perfect entry on that sell, but that's how you take advantage of the information from our course. After identifying that sell to buy zone, your entry would have been here. Stop loss would have been above the highs. Target would have either been level of support underneath it or the level below this range or this area of liquidity.
So right now, would you consider the macro trend to be bearish?
Yes. So as of right now, we will be looking. Yes, sir. So we'll be in a bearish move, looking for sales on Bitcoin. All right. Now, as far as a entry, like I said, we really just missed a very nice entry. So to be safe, what we could do is utilize our break and retest methods or wait on a pullback. Okay. Let's see. Oh, also on the daily, let's go. You said we had imbalance, which we do right here. So that lets you know imbalance zones when they're created. Just know that they mean that this area needs to be in filled. So even though price is overall moving down at this moment, we will be back. That's pretty much what the imbalance is saying.
So it's okay to trade that imbalance zone?
Well,
You know it's coming back.
Yeah, I use now the only times I trade from an imbalance zone is if it is underneath liquidity. So let's say, for example, we got price trapped in range of consolidation, which is also identified as liquidity. And the area that falls underneath just so happens to be an imbalance zone. That's the only time I would use an imbalance zone as a zone for an entry on a trade setup. Outside of that, I'm just using it as a marker. Like, okay, the market has to come back to fill this area. From there, I use candlesticks to let us know what's happening in price as well as price action. But outside of that, that's the only time I would trade from an imbalance zone. Now, in this case, this gives you a strong indication that we could definitely see this move happen. So at this area where that double bottom is, what was that on the weekly? We'll see how price responds here. But I honestly believe that this level could be blown through. Okay. This level could definitely be blown through. So we'll wait to see how price responds at this level. Yeah, as far as the entry, if price, we'll monitor this. If we pull back, if this thing continues to pull back to maybe retest in this here, we could take an entry from there. We have the 200-day EMA pretty much beating up price, pushing it down. So if we can get a pullback towards it within the next couple of hours, maybe towards the London session, we may be able to go ahead and take advantage of this sale setup. But before we move any further with another trade, I just want to show you guys something about risk reward. This month, we started off amazing. At the end of the month, can you guys see this?
Mhm.
Okay. Towards the end of the month, man, I had a lot of choppy action in the market. This is actually the first time I lost 4 consecutive trades. We ended the month with 6 trades with no movement. That's never happened in a year and a half. But I want you guys to pay attention to something, which is why I stress risk reward and why I stress consistency with approach as far as leverage. Towards the end of the month, let's say, you got excited because we were on such of a winning streak, okay? Before we really went on a losing streak, we went up almost 350% of our total account. And that was towards, I think maybe like 20 days into the month. The last couple of trades, 2 of them lost, 1 hit break even, another loss, another break even, and another loss. Without proper leverage, you could have destroyed everything that we accumulated in this 1 month in the last week. Okay. So even with 6 trades with no movement, we still finished at 305%. This doesn't happen, So I want you guys to really, really, really focus on your leverage. The money is going to come. We haven't had a full month where we traded the full month and did less than 100%. Like that's a blessing. But being eager, getting caught up into chasing profits, looking for the results instead of becoming one with this journey, that's the only thing that'll give you inconsistency with your returns. So I wanted to show you guys, just to show you, even though it doesn't happen often, I have bad days. So if you're charting on your own, you will have them. What's going to protect you? Structure, discipline, and consistency. All right. So keep that in mind, you guys. Keep that in mind, and let's head back to Bitcoin. All right. So from here, right down here at this structural level, on a smaller time frame, it looks like if we do not get this pullback, that price would actually just create another buy to sell zone. And if that's the case, that's beautiful. We just wait here until that's broken and retested. And the same way we looked at the entry on a higher time frame, that's how it will be done here. You'll wait till this level is formed. Our entry would be the bottom of that zone. Excuse me, a stop loss will be above it, and we will ride it down to whatever our intended target area is. Okay. So what we'll do here is set alerts. Also, you guys, if you have not purchased an account for TradingView, I highly recommend it. Because I think they only give you like 3 to 5 alerts for the free version. So yeah, purchase it. It's only going to help you out. All right, so I'm going to set an alert just in case it breaks below. And I set an alert above just to let me know if it's headed back to retest the 200. All right. So I want you guys to get in the habit of doing this so you don't get in the habit of just sitting, watching, doing this. The whole purpose of the program is to give you freedom, and that's even freedom away from your job. To us, this isn't a job, all right? We want to use it as a means of freedom. So do not practice staring at a computer. Practice using your analytics and setting your alerts to bring you back to the market to take advantage of the opportunities once they come to you. We don't want to become chasers because you're going to lose, all right? Let this stuff come to you, allow it to develop, and we'll take advantage once price get into certain positions. So we got our alerts set on BTC. From AUD, JPY, we saw that we're pretty much in this same range. So we'll set alerts for the same reason, just to let us know when we should come back to maybe look for an entry. Why does this thing keep putting 2 Bs? All right. Let me see. What do we have as far as news this week? Also, with the news, what I do when I'm charting, let me show you guys. I'll pull it up here. What I do when I'm charting is I go to check the news to see where we could have movement in the market. So, go back. So I'll use my FX book, and I'll go to the economic calendar just to see which pair would have a lot of movement or high volatility for the week. So what I look for is like the high to medium news. So this week, only ones with movement or news that could really affect the price point is pound. Okay. So we'll head to look at pound pairs. What's this? Tuesday, we got USD. Yeah, so we'll look at pound, USD, AUD, and the yen. Okay. So certain weeks, you guys will see I may not post as many trades. That's because the news doesn't have a lot of movement, so we may not see a lot of volatility. What does that mean? You may see a lot of consolidation, or the market may be choppy. So when you run into times like this, just get away from the market. You don't have to approach trading with I need to make money every day mindset, because you will lose. So just wait until you have that volume, the movement in the market, and take advantage of it during those times when the market looks like this. Just go find something to do, man. turn that into family time, turn that into a vacation. It's not much.
Yeah, that's what you told me.
Yeah, yeah, find something to do, man.
I was like, what was going on? Well, it was good because at least I seen it and I understood what was going on. And you was like, yeah, man, go spend time with your kids. I was like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah, so that's also a big part of being a trader, man. Knowing when to say no. Okay, knowing when to say no. It's not much to be expected from price trading out of range, especially with the way we approach. This is more so scalpers land, scalpers territory. And not saying that you can't be successful as a scalper, but it's just, I'm pretty sure it's something else that you can do to fill your time with. So go be productive somewhere else. All right, so as of right now, we'll
Hey, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm gonna watch the rest of this on video.
okay.
I gotta step back in the house.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, let's we'll
Put
monitor
it on the video.
AUD and JPY had news coming out. We'll also take a look at pound JPY. So let's head here.
They don't want me. Good.
Okay, with pound JPY, we pretty much had price breaking above this range here. Once pulled back to retest that area, I had this set up for a buy. I actually don't know how I missed this buy, but it's okay because we are not in this one. But we'll wait to see what happens. Pretty much, we got the same thing on everything. We got everything consolidating, creating liquidity above and beneath it. So we'll set alerts and we'll wait to respond versus trying to dictate the moves that the market makes. We're going to let it come to us. Okay, now here on the higher time frame, even though we started on like the 4 hour or something, the 4 hour looked like price could have been coming down. But what do you guys think about the month?
Well, I'm looking at your 200-day moving average, and that's still overall bearish. It's kind of just going sideways. As I looked at the 50, it's still slightly bullish, but it's still, I don't think anything major.
But it's still pretty much this is the monthly chart. We just had a flag right here. This is a big bull flag. Okay. And typically the bull flags will print the same movement as the length of the pole underneath it. So just off of a quick measure, you could see this movement up here. We do have slight imbalance area. So just from a quick look, it is still slightly bullish, even though price kind of had a strong reaction to this 200 EMA. So at this point, we should still be looking for a buy or waiting for some type of consolidation before rejection. But once we move to the weekly, see what happened here on the weekly? You see this?
Mm-hmm.
What is this? It's in our course.
Actually, that one candle came and took out a lot of liquidity.
It did. But what pattern did these three candles form? It's our sell to buy zone. You see it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, remember our sale,
You're looking at the middle you're looking at that middle blue candle?
this middle red candle.
Okay, I see it now.
Okay, cool. So remember, we have our sell to buy zones, which give you that sharp pullback before continuing, and our buy to sell zones. All right. So that is a sell to buy zone, which is also a bullish indication. Okay. So if we look back and see what's inside of this zone, we kind of got what's that, a double bottom in there? There's one ugly double bottom in there. And we also have the 50-day EMA moving 4 hour. Let's go down to the 2 hour. All right, so we got on a smaller time frame, we got the 2 hour, the 200 EMA right underneath the zone on the 2 hour. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So when I see the EMAs on the smaller time frame around the zone that I was looking at as far as a potential rejection area, that's like extra confluence, meaning just more things that confirm the same idea. So let's say, for instance, we have a double top right here. Okay. Let's say price responded to this double top with a rejection, and we pull it down to retest this level before continuing. Oh, that's the clear double bottom right there. So you can see that double bottom better on that 1 hour. You see it better, Doc?
Yeah, okay.
All right. So here we have a double bottom, but we'll have to be careful because it's also above liquidity. So with this trade, we'll wait for a candlestick confirmation versus an aggressive entry, because it could continue to break through these lows.
Okay.
We also have liquidity, imbalance here.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, this is one of those cases that we spoke of earlier, Doc. This imbalance zone is right underneath the 200 EMA, and it falls right underneath liquidity. So this is one of those cases where I would possibly use an imbalance zone as an entry point because of how it falls. Now, if that imbalance was, let me see, like within or further below or above, we wouldn't take it. But since right underneath this liquidity, the first zone we see is this imbalance zone, this will be a good place to put our entry, even if we give ourselves a little more room for our stop loss. All right, so putting our stop loss underneath that double bottom, this will still be a good setup. So what I would do is I'll actually monitor this for the London session, because if price does not break above this range, we could see this pullback tonight, which could be a nice move. We could catch it down to our buy zone, which is 1 to 6, and give ourselves a little extra room and catch another setup moving to the upside. All right.
Can you show another example of trading a sell to buy or buy to sell zone?
Okay. All right, let's see if we can find one. Let's go to USD JPY. All right, so remember, you typically find those zones at areas where you have a structural break, okay? So right off the back, if we look here on USD JPY, this is our structural area here, all right? Now, if we dive in right here, you have a sell to buy zone. You see that?
Mhm.
All right. So this is how you trade that zone. After it's been identified, we'll mark that zone using our rectangle tool. Boom. All right. Our entry normally will be at the top of the zone, and we give ourselves a little room underneath that zone just in case price wicks below it. All right. So from there, we just wait for it to be retested and we enter accordingly, and we just let it ride. That's all we do. Once you see,
Actually, you got multiple entries there. Now, there's one that dipped down to
yeah,
catch the liquidity.
yeah, but it never violated the stop loss. And this is the importance of understanding structure. That's why before I taught you guys anything, I taught you structure with support and resistance. After price breaks a high, which is at resistance, once it breaks it, it now becomes support. So it doesn't matter how much tap dancing it does right here. Where's your stop loss?
It's below the structure break.
It's below that structural break. I do not care what happens here. Okay. A lot of time in trading, we also get caught in what is it? How can I word it? We lose patience. We think just because you use technical analysis when you enter the trade, it's supposed to take off immediately. Just because you in it, I'm in the trade now. It's supposed to move. Man, patience. Be patient.
Yeah, but if you had $20 million, you can make it move.
Yeah. Yeah, in a minute we'll be the market manipulators. But as of right now, let's just be patient and wait for the market to present us with those opportunities. So patience is a major factor in understanding structure. So it doesn't matter how much dancing you see, as long as price does not break and violate this low, I am in a good position. If this low is broken and price comes back to retest it, I may want to move my stop loss up a little bit because it may get smacked. All right. But as long as price stays above that newly created support level, which once was our resistance, it's nothing you should do but just wait, monitor with patience, just wait. All right, so let me delete that, and after that, of course, this thing continued to create a higher high. So patience and understanding structure are very important. So that's another example of how to take advantage of entering on a buy to sell or sell to buy zone. All right, so from where we are with this, let's see how USD JPY responds. It wouldn't, well, shoot, this was a nice pullback here. As of right now, Price created this double top. You see it? It created a double top and it pulled back to retest it, kind of like the last chart we just looked at. So if we don't break this high to continue to move up, we could see a pullback from this area as well. We got less than 6 minutes left for the hour close of this pair, so that'll determine what happens here. If we break above, if we break above, we could see this move to continue, just to pretty much give us a bull flag. If not, we may pull back to maybe test an area here, since this move pretty much created liquidity. So let's place this here just to show us that we have range or liquidity here. We already have arrows there. All right. Now, give me that arrow. Hold on a second. So now we have range in between two major levels of structure, and this goes right into week 6. All right, we'll delete these lines from that flag so we can get a clear image. Go ahead and delete this as well. Okay. So from here, our next major support level is right around here in this area. We also have an imbalance in here, Dr. Terry. So you got an imbalance area that falls right above a support level that is right by the 200 EMA. You have price creating range and liquidity in between two major levels. So from here, we will see how price responds in this hour close. We could probably take advantage of that sale if we have a nice reaction, and try to ride that sale to break this area of liquidity if that sale is confirmed, to retest this imbalance zone. And from there, we can catch it back up to this area. All right. So let's see what's down here. Okay, so within that imbalance zone, let me mark this area here. That's funny. You see that? Came right to that zone. All right, so yeah, let's watch what happens in this area here. All right, and we'll take a look at the indices, and that'll be it for today. Dr. Terry, man, I want to thank you, brother. Doing your testimonial, you said something.
Oh, you're welcome.
And you said, man, you don't know how good you are. And I was like, you know what? you woke up something in me, man. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Hey, I need an easier way to steer people your way, because I tell people about you, but if they don't have a Discord account, I need something where, here, go to this web address, or you understand what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I can send you the I'll post a link to the website in the group. We just finished our website, actually, so it's ProfitTakersEU.com.
What was that again?
Profit Takers EU. ProfitTakersEU.com. You're at the top. They'll be able to get all of the information on the courses. They'll be able to sign up for our free course.
Okay, okay.
They can also get information on everything by just going to those specific pages. If it's course information you're looking for, come here, or the pricing plans for access to all the information.
Okay,
Thank you. I appreciate that as well.
okay. I run into a lot of people that think they know what they're doing.
Okay. Yeah, well, hey man, we're here
And I
ready.
hear, oh, be quiet, be quiet, and the buddies told me. But some of them are actually figuring it out on their own. I've got a friend that figured out supply and demand on his own. He didn't know that's what he was doing,
Uh-huh.
but he figured it out on his own.
Okay. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. So yeah, I will post that into our group, but also from that website, they will be able to gain access to everything, even our Discord. So if they come down to the products and go to the free trade group, that'll give them access to the Discord, and from there they just follow the steps to join the team.
Okay. So you, the free course was a very good idea. I'm still working on, I got my account set up with Prosperity, and I figured out how to transfer the Bitcoin. I fought with that for a few days because it message kept coming up. You got the wrong address. You're gonna lose your money. You ain't getting it back. So I was scared to push the send.
I understand. I understand. That
And I
actually
went ahead, well, let me try
brother.
$10. If I lose it, okay. And then it went through, okay, I got that now. And I'm familiarizing myself with Metaphor,
Yeah,
MetaTrader 4.
Okay, yeah, no problem. It's take your time, brother, because we aren't going anywhere. You guys,
This is a lifetime thing.
Yep.
You don't have to do this by next week. It's a lifetime thing.
Exactly. And you guys got the
It's a
lifetime
life
membership.
thing.
Jumped in at a perfect time.
Mhm.
So yeah, just we'll follow along with the demo account because it's more important that you get comfortable watching price fluctuate. Man, we should have took that trade, man. Good night. I normally don't take setups at this time, but that was just too pretty. The entry was too perfect, but just something that we'll have to look back on. But yeah, use the demo accounts to get used to price fluctuating, because like I said, that's the most important part. And once everything gets set up, you'll be fine. We'll be ready to go from there. But yeah.
There's another thing that we see on this chart you're showing right now. There's a gap.
Yes, sir. It's also imbalance, like right here. Boom. That imbalance got filled.
Gap definitely got to be filled.
Yep. So I'm going to set an alert just because we're going to set alerts right here. Oh my God, why is this? I need to get my keyboard clean. All right. What else? We'll take a look at gold. Okay, we entered gold last week. Gold consolidated a lot, but it's about to hit our final target. I wonder if Jeff, well, I don't think Jeff held this. But yeah, last week we entered this buy on gold. We're almost about to hit our target area. Now, this is a perfect example of what I was saying. This trade took all week. But what do you have to do? You don't have nothing to do. Leave it alone. Leave the trade alone and let it work for you. So we went up like crazy. The first day, like this was the first day we went up it pretty much made almost the entire move, then pulled back, retesting the entry before breaking those highs. Right here, Jeff was like, "Oh my God, what happened?" I'm like, "Man, it's just consolidating. Leave this thing alone." So you were able to enter in the trade, get life done that entire week, and get some rest. Come back week, and you took advantage of a 1 to 11 risk reward. Like that's effortless. So once we get into the habit of being patient and removing ourselves mentally from the charts and allowing everything to happen, it's a no-brainer. So we'll let gold finish playing out before we look for another setup on it. At this point, it looks like we're definitely going to hit that last target area, which is up here by this double top. So we will let that ride. As far as the indices, what are we looking at? Okay, things look like they are about to get scary for the buyers in the market. If you look, we just got another sell to buy zone inside of a major zone. All right. So there's a big chance that this could be a bear flag and we're heading down. All right. So I will monitor this to see what will be our best means of entry, because we also got what is this right here, you guys?
Crossover,
Yeah,
bearish crossover.
we have a death cross. We got a death cross on the indices, okay? So I'm not going to say it means trouble, but typically signals a major bear move, all right? So we will just be patient and take advantage of whatever is to come from the indices. Oh my God, I hope these guys get their money out of their 401ks, or it's gonna bless your grandkids, Dr. Terry. If we get in these trades, man, your grandkids come enjoy some of their 401k. All right, so from here, it definitely looks like a bear flag. Okay. Looks like we're on the right side of the jump. Definitely. This is our major level of structure here. If this move completes within these next 57 minutes, I just want to see a retest of this zone. And I'm probably going to put my stop loss, if not above here, above the highs. And I don't think I'll touch this trade. I'm just going to let it ride, because we have so much down here that we can eat away at. Like, even if we just come here, that's a beautiful move. If you get 100% of that jump, 100% retracement on the Fibonacci, that is amazing as far as a risk reward setup. And then look at all of this liquidity that was formed here from all of the rejections. So the chances of this level being broken, it's a high probability. So you could actually see this move, which is amazing. Amazing. So this is something that we'll definitely be looking at this week, because this could be like that Euro JPY setup from last month. We got a 1 to 32 risk reward trade that hit every TP. So you guys, this let's see, let me set some alerts on this thing. Go back to that 2 hour zoom in. We want to see this close. And we want to retest to let us in to give us a better entry. Oh, right. Wow. I'm going to post this on YouTube after. What what my original plan was to stream OBS and record it live on and stream it on YouTube while we record it on Zoom. But I forgot. It's okay. We'll get it right Wednesday. Let's set an alert here. All right, so I'm putting this underneath the lows here. So just in case it leaves without us, even if it does, I will not panic. I'll wait on a break below and a retest of one of these areas before catching that move to the downside.
Mhm.
So we'll wait. NASDAQ. Ugh. Oh, wow. This one is worse. The NASDAQ gave you a buy to sell zone right underneath the 618 level. So there's a good chance that this thing is gone. Also, last week, Mr. Jeff, he entered in I think a S&P buy just because we sent out a US 30 buy. I'm gonna say this again on camera. US 30, NASDAQ, and S&P all typically move in the same direction, but that does not mean that they all move at the same direction at the same time. Okay. So we caught one while it was in the buy, but the other was still selling. All right. So don't buy one just because the other moves. Take your time and do your analysis on each chart individually. All right. So from here, pretty much the same thing on everything. Everything is looking the same. We have this buy the sell zone. We're going to set some alerts. We probably missed this setup. This thing looks like it wants to come right down here to this 786 level. But with identifying these areas, Doc, just perfect risk reward on these setups, man. That's why I love them. And normally after you break structure, you get more of an impulse. So it's more of a instant gratification as far as the return versus some of these setups. You may get caught in something like this, or you may enter here, then you got 2 days of consolidation before it continues. Normally, if you wait on major structural levels to be broken, man, crazy impulses. So let's set alerts here. We want to see this thing come back. Okay. Broke above the 618. All right, now US 30. Now US 30 looks different. So this was after that buy, I thought it probably could reject from here, but it went a little higher. But you see how different they all look now? Last week they were closer with their similarities. Now this thing looks completely different, which is cool. But that's why I want you guys to respect them. Okay. Okay, so this pretty much. Oh, it's pretty much created a structure here in this area. After it broke through, it pulled back to retest this structure here. Now it looks like it's headed back down. Do you guys see this double top here?
Mhm.
All right, so that's what price pulled back to retest this area where we had that double top. Now, I normally don't see them pull back to retest twice because this move here actually retested that double top. But you got a nice move to go to the bottom of that range, and then it pulls back to the same area before rejecting again, which means this is a strong resistance level at this point. So as of right now, this wick played everything down here as far as this imbalance and pretty much almost played that double bottom. So I don't think there's enough to push price up from here. So we could see a continuation in that move to the downside.
Mhm.
All right. So on the 1 hour, right here, if we do not break above this, then it's gonna leave now. But we have a kind of like a double top up here. There's a chance we could get a slight reaction off of this candle here, maybe to pull back towards this area before continuing to move. So we'll monitor from here. Let's go down to a smaller time frame. Oh yeah, this doesn't look good for our stock owners, our buying holders. They might be under a lot of pressure. Okay, now do you guys see this head and shoulders pattern?
Yeah,
Okay, so in our course we saw that typically after head and shoulders or inverse head and shoulder patterns are formed, you'll get a retest of the right shoulder or the head before the major move happens. Okay, so that last possibility that we just spoke of, which was price possibly pulling back before continuing to move to the downside, looks like it could be a big possibility based on the smaller time frames. That's why we start from the higher time frames and move down. So we'll highlight the right shoulder of this head and shoulders pattern and identify it as our 1 hour retest zones. We already have an alert right here just in case price breaks structure. If so, we'll use the break and retest method. And if it pulls back, we'll use this as a potential entry to catch this move to the downside. All right, so we got our alerts set for the week, looking at the charts that have news coming out this week. And that will be it for today. Moving forward during the London session, we'll monitor all of these setups to find proper entries, and we will post them into the group. Okay.
okay.
So does everything make sense, guys?
I'm getting there.
Okay. That's cool. As long as we're making progress. As long as we're making progress. Well, all right. I will go ahead and create some thumbnails and drop this on our YouTube page and put it in the group so you guys will be able to have access to it. And I will see you guys Wednesday.
Okay. Good night.
Okay. Okay.
Stop.